All right. I see green, so I know I'm getting sound. Got my mic turned up. Need a checklist. Yeah, East End. David, I saw. Yeah, I watched it too, and it's no good. Oh wow, we just dropped down from 12 to 9, just like that. Um, so first 5 minutes, okay. So Diane, you got the story then. Do you like that story? You said you liked that story. It was pretty funny. Let's see. I need a whiteboard. I totally do. I totally need a whiteboard. Okay, so who do we have here? Kathy is, of course, here. Kevin, you still here? Got Keith, Dennis, David, Deej. Hey, welcome back, man. Good to see you. Again, thank you. You weren't here yesterday, but I thank you for posting when the lesson actually starts, because there's all this stuff going on right now that has nothing to do with the lesson. And so I appreciate it. I don't think of that as being kind of snarky or trollish or anything like that. It's actually very, very helpful. And so I actually pinned and also where is who was it else that did that? AK. AK did it as well, and I pinned it. Let me make sure everybody's happy down here. Oh, okay. Hook, you sent a photo. Bob, I got your photo. So far, I think I have 4 photos. I got Peppers. Kathy, I actually have a photo. I don't know if you want to send it to me, but you put it up on Twitter. I can grab that one, I think. Dennis, Diane, Kevin, let's see who else. So Bruce, hey, how's it going, Bruce? Ed, good to see you. A lot of the regulars. Chesterfield, Franklin, love that name. If that's your real name, that's like a freaking cool name. And let's see, I already said hi, Bruce. Ira, I saw you there. I think I got everybody so far. So we got 29. Wow, everybody's here. So Gary, there you are. I see Gary and Roger. Hey, Roger. Vex. Okay, we got Verdi here, and then we got someone named Vexy30. Hi, welcome. And Hook, welcome. So everything's good. I just finished a track for TV this morning, and I almost. Oh shoot! Okay, we have 5 rules for our drinking game now. So I'm going to need to create a document. I can just drag and drop in there, copy and paste. Cheers! I touched my face. So the drinking game is if I touch my face, you take a drink, because we're supposedly not supposed to touch our face. Sip, and everyone will let you know. Sip, sip, sip. Gary. Oh no, Gary, I've heard that's the worst. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad it's behind you. If I refer to myself in the third person, if I say I had a band in high school called, if I change guitars, okay, not if I pick up the first guitar, that doesn't count. Water, pepper, that's great. Water, Diet Coke. I've got water. I got my water, and I got my coffee. Actually, this is a red eye. I don't know if you know what a red eye is, but a red eye is with a shot of espresso, 1 shot. And if you want 2 shots, it's called a black eye. If you want 3 shots, it's called a purple eye. I think there's a name for a 4th shot, but I don't know what it is. Air quote. Oh, that's it. Air quotes. So dang, how many rules do we have to this game? It's getting insane. Pretty much you guys are just going to have to get those cups, the hats with the straws going in your mouth. That's pretty much going to be coffee is a necessity. I had to get a shot today because I woke up I went to bed late because I was working with this pop artist from home, of course, and writing a new song for him and for the team, and coming up with some ideas. And I kind of stayed up really late, and I was tired before I even started. And then, of course, what happened was, in the process of working, I think it was about midnight I started working. In the process of midnight, in the process of working, I got all woken up. So I went to bed around 1, about an hour later, and then at 2:00 I couldn't sleep. So and I was feeling a little weird, so I took some NyQuil. And then my daughter calls me at 8 this morning, and then my son calls me at 8:20. So I'm just like, they never call. And then they both had car issues, and I'm like, okay, let's deal with this. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, write it down on a whiteboard. Exactly. A red eye, red no, yeah. Well, that's true. I think Red Bull and vodka is called a red eye if you go to a bar. But at Starbucks, a red eye is maybe that's why I get funny looks when I say it. But they taught me it. It's just a coffee with a shot. Oh dang it, my ear itches. Take another sip. Yeah, I don't really do air quotes very often, so I don't know if we're gonna get that. Okay, so everybody, so Deej, you're gonna have to send me a send me a comment that tells me when this video starts. Although we're only 5 minutes in, normally we go further than that. Everybody's kind of talking the Tom commandments. 2 tablets. Yeah, it's gonna get to 10 real soon. So we have been working on all sorts of stuff. David, who's really in the hot zone, he's in Manhattan, I believe, right? You're in Manhattan, or are you in one of the other boroughs? But he messaged me yesterday or today on Facebook, basically saying, hey, when this is all over, it looks like it's going to be over soon. And if he's saying it in New York City, that's probably true. There's still going to be cases. I'm not going to hold it against any governor if there's cases after they get everybody back to work, because we need to get back to work. And there's the thing is, most of you are probably not going to be able to be here. You're not stuck watching me. I mean, seriously, you guys don't have Netflix or something. I mean, come on. Also, I'm going to ask for your Netflix, Disney Plus. I mean, I've got Netflix, Disney Plus, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime. I have all of those because some of them I get, like Apple TV, they give you a year of that for free if you buy a major Apple product. Like we bought Beth a new iPhone and we got a year of Apple TV for free, which was pretty dope. My son got Disney Plus because he loves The Simpsons, and all The Simpsons are up there, including new episodes, I think. And then, so he gave us the password. I think we even have Hulu. My daughter has a Hulu account, so she gave it to us. So we have all that set up on our phone. Well, good for you, Diane. Yes, but see, that's the one thing I don't have is HBO, David. Those are, yeah, yeah. You want my passwords, AJ? And so the main reason I have it, because I've worked on a lot of shows. So I just was working on a show yesterday or day before yesterday that's coming out on Fox, which is good. It was a union gig, which is, it depends. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the money yet. So, because I don't want to get slammed for doing non-union work. I don't want to be billed or fined or kicked out of the union thing. So I'm what's called Beck status, or they also call it, I forget. My wife was that way too at school, but but whenever I do union work, the nice thing is there's back end on it. But most work I do is not union. Vexy, I'm actually going to do, I'll give you an overview of what I'm thinking of. Actually, it was last night when I was laying in bed at 1:00 in the morning. I was sitting there going, I have had a lot of requests about how to change chords faster. It's a very, very common problem among beginners. And I really do think, and what I will do is I will make sure that if I do it, I'm going to do 2 videos for this, one for beginners and one for intermediates. And if I do it, I'm going to make sure there's a card in my most popular video, which is still like 60% of my views, is the 7 tips for older beginners, because YouTube really promotes the crud out of it. And the minute they stop doing that is the minute I'll stop making any money from YouTube. But they basically, I can put a card there so it'll show up early in the video so that people might go to watch that video, because they may be thinking the video 7 tips for older beginners would talk about it, but it doesn't. So Vexy, I'm going to do one. Yeah, $15 a month, David. It's pretty high for HBO. I don't think I spend $15 a month for anything I have, but I have, and I've written music for Netflix, so I kind of have to have Netflix so I can check that out and know what they want. And if they reference a show, I have music on, I've played on all sorts of things like Disney stuff. But so here's, so last night I'm laying in bed. Hey, DK, good to see you. Yeah, how's it going, AB? Mark Woods. So bar chords, yeah. And the nice thing about bar chords, you can just slide them around once you have a bar chord down. So, but let me give you a mini lesson on this. What I wrote down, and I'm gonna do a more formal lesson with graphics and things like that. I just need to sit down and do it. And I'm just been so busy. It's like I almost feel bad because I know there's so many people that just are bored and can't work and stuff. I've been pretty busy, so. So I wrote last night when I went to bed after I was working with that pop artist, I wrote down some ideas for changing. And I thought of another one a second ago, and now I got to try to remember it. But basically, I want to try to come up with 5 or maybe even 7 tips if I can. 7 is a good number for changing chords faster. And I'm talking about beginners here, okay? And I would use the example C to D, because there's a lot going on when you go from C to D. So I wouldn't do G to C2 because that's just a matter of moving your 2 fingers down. But C to D is one that's like a lot of people not only going to D from C, but going to C from D. And it's a fairly common progression. In the key of G, it would be the 4 and the 5 chord. Okay. So one of the things the first step I would say is memorize them. Okay. You don't need to be looking at some sheet of chord diagrams. And that may sound like an obvious thing, and you may already have it memorized, but at least then you can go, hey, I got one of those things down. So memorize the chord shapes. Okay. The next thing is to look at the paths that your fingers are taking. Okay. And what I might do there is do 2 chord shapes, a really big diagram, and then get rid of my, when I do it on the YouTube, when I do it on the iMovie, I'll probably pull it up so it's just that. And I'll have like the 2 chord diagrams here with arrows. Here's where the first finger's headed. Because I'm using the first 3 fingers on the C chord, and I'm using the first 3 fingers on the D chord. So the first finger is going up a fret and down a string. The second finger is going down, staying on the same fret, but going down 1, 2, 3 strings. And the same thing with the third finger. So you could almost see that your second and third finger are moving together, and then your first finger has to move up. So that's the next thing. Check out, observe the pathways and what they're doing. The other thing you want to do is you want to move all the fingers at the same time. Not, okay, now go to D and go 1 finger this way. And I know that's the hardest step. And then the fourth thing was, remember I talked about this before, going back and forth. Don't like play a song that's in G. I got a big gainy sound. And I just noticed the other day, I was watching the video. I don't think you guys hear any of that. I think you're getting like the clean sound, like the direct sound of my guitar through the I don't think, now this is a clean sound, but it's just funny. Also, my internet speed was, upload speed was like 8 megabytes per second. So that's pretty good. It was getting down into the 2 and 3 range yesterday, and I think that's why we're having problems. So I don't see any streaming issues. Thank you for that icon. AJ, how do you get the strings not to stick to the calluses on your fingertips? If you got holes I don't know. I've never had that problem. So, what was the beginner question, DK? And like I said, the beginner questions, sometimes I'm going to save those. I don't see it. Is it up here or have you asked it yet? Oh, I'm learning picking now. And someone said to rest my pick on the string below it. So if I down pick A, rest on string of D. I was wondering, does that apply to up picking as well? Okay, I'll answer that question. Thanks, Kathy. So anyway, but as far as changing chords, and then my last tip was, I was going to say, don't play a whole progression, like an 8-bar progression that has a C and a D in it, because it'll take you 20 seconds to get to the C and the D change. Just practice the change. Play 1 strum of C, 1 strum of D, so forth and so on. So that's that lesson. And that one I will do a video on that and get into more detail and with graphics and things like that. And then I'm going to do one more for the intermediates where I probably use something like a 7th chord with a flat 5 and a sharp 5 and that kind of stuff. We talked about that before. As far as picking, I'm not sure why you would rest your pick on the next string. I know that when you're finger picking, like when I'm doing Segovia scales, I'm changing guitars, guys. Take a drink. Sip. Cheers. In fact, I was just warming up with my Segovia scales before we started. And to get volume on classical guitar, you do what's called a rest stroke. A rest stroke where you pluck the string and land on the string below it, and that's with a finger upstroke. Okay. Normal tuning. You get more volume if you rest, but more speed if you go through. So if you don't rest, now one trick to gain speed though is to not, if you're going to play a scale or a flurry of notes, basically the idea is to pluck with the first finger. Like for example, I'm going to go C, D, E, F, G. If you pluck with the first finger and then immediately place the second finger on the string, getting ready to pluck the D. So it's a preparation thing. It's like being a Boy Scout. Be prepared. So in other words, you create this staccato sound. This is not the question that DK was wondering. But as far as steel string goes, okay, now I'm going back to the electric guitar. As far as acoustic or no, I don't know why someone would say rest the pick on the next string. I did a video. Let's see, and this could apply to beginners as well. Let's see, here it is. Let's see, how can I? Oh yeah, I can get it right here. Copy. 10 tips to increase your speed. And one of the things that I learned early on was to have a very small movement to pick very shallow. And if you were to rest on the next string, that's a big movement right there. From there to there is, we're talking more than a quarter of an inch. But if you want to go fast, you really want to use very minimal movement. The shorter the attack, the faster you can recover from it and come back the other way. If you're plucking all the way down to the next string, I'm not sure who told you that. I'm not sure who told you to do that. But you do get more volume if you rest. Especially like I said on acoustic guitar, if you can really push harder if you know that your pick is going to land on that next string. So. And that may be also. Oh, okay, Pepper, you have a question. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, B major chords like this, you take an A chord, played with these 3 fingers, and this is probably the best way to play it. So it would be X2 4 4 4 2. Not an easy chord. I also have a video on that. That darn F chord. Let's see. The son of a. Oh shoot. Son of. There it is. And so I did a video just on the B chord. Okay. And there's some let's see. Sorry, you guys are asking so many questions right now, which is totally great. Accuracy for 2 stops. I don't know, Gary, what that means. The Discord thing. Yeah, we probably need to do that, huh? I need to figure that out. Let's see. Yeah, Pepper. So I've kind of answered that question in a video. And so I give you some cheater chords too that you can use in that video. Yeah, it's once you get it down, it's not that hard. But and a lot of people would do it like this way, where they would lay down their pinky or their third finger. Some people can actually bend their third finger backwards, where they only hit those 3 strings and they still get the first string open. So they call that, actually, they would call that a double bar chord. But I could never bend my finger that way. I could kind of do it with my pinky. Not really. So if you're going to play that, it's going to look more like this. It's going to be X2, 4, 4, 4, X. You're not going to have it. It's just going to be. And I might do that if I were playing like with my fingers. I might not go to this one. But the nice thing about this one is I can open it up if I want to make it a B2 chord, if I want to be sus. Now, a second ago, and I've already closed it. Let me open it again here. I posted a page so you can print this PDF of this. So that's this page. If you want to, that link goes to this page. If you want to print that up, I would bookmark that. And there are other things you can print, other diagrams and stuff like that. If you can kind of delete the back half of the URL, and then with that, you can probably find a bunch of other things you can download. These places are great. I mean, my favorite one is for sheet music. I haven't had to buy sheet music in years because I have this one that's what is it? Blanksheetmusic.net. I love this one. So if you need sheet music, this one's great. And I just touched my face twice. Take 2 sips. Verdi's going to be under the table soon. Verdi, we got to get you to like 16 seconds. I mean, 16 minutes between cigarettes. You know that, right? And David was saying, okay, I started this whole, see, we're 22 minutes in and I've already been like squirreled like 18 times, you guys. David messaged me this morning about saying, hey, this whole thing's going to be over, sooner than later. Thank God. And by this whole thing being over, he means this video. No, but the lockdown's going to be over soon, and hopefully, and so he like, are we going to keep doing this? Well, I mean, right now I see 43. It just went up to 50, which is pretty cool. But there's 44 people right now watching. Are you when everybody's back to work, I'm probably going to see 15 people. So I don't know that it'll be necessarily worth my time to do a video every day or a lesson every day. I might just go back to doing the regular videos and posting them. But David wanted to maybe maybe do a poll to see what people want to learn, because I've got, I could go forever on different things, but there's obviously needs that you have that if enough of you have them, then it makes sense to do videos for. And I've always said that. Usually if one person emails me and say, hey, can you do a video about this? There's 100 other people that would like that same video. What I need are videos that you have 100,000 other people that want that video. And so those are issues. So I will definitely be able to do live once a week. I think I can manage that. That won't be a problem. I mean, going back to work for me is, well, I will go still here. So going back to work for me doesn't change where I am. I've been working the entire time, so it's not really going to be an issue. You're right. I know people are going to, AJ, people are going to be like, wait, I got to work. It's going to be tough. Once a week is not going to be a problem. The question is, what day? Probably looking at Saturday morning, but I also, maybe something after RJ's. I was doing like a Saturday morning at 11. I could totally do that. That's not a problem. But I've really enjoyed doing this daily thing because I feel like we've really gone deep into stuff. And today, yesterday's lesson, just a review, and gosh, I'm so sorry if you watch yesterday's lesson. I think about 5 minutes in, it settles down, but I was having issues on my end because everybody was having buffering problems. So when that happens, I know it's my issue. And we rebooted 3 times. Yeah, well, rebooted twice. I had to restart the lesson 3 times. And this is ultimately what we got out of that lesson. It was a very short lesson anyway. And so what we've been doing with this chord theory series is we've been learning about triads, seventh chords, and yesterday we did ninth chords. And we basically start out by writing a 2-octave C scale. These little carets here, these upside down V's, they are just kind of bracketing the half steps. So C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, but E to F is a half step. Just like on a piano. Basically, here there's a black key in between C and D, and there's a black key between D and E, but there are no black keys in between E and F, and that's why it's a half step, if you were to look at this on a piano. And a lot of you have been drawing a piano keyboard up there. I've been very impressed with your artistic abilities. And then we numbered 1 through 15. And then I even said when we first did this, that you'll start to see how seventh chords are made, or ninth chords are made, or 11th chords, or 13th chords. You're going, oh, wait, a 13th chord would have an A in it. That's right. An 11th chord would have an F in it. Exactly. A ninth chord would have a D in it. And if we started on E, G, B, D would be the seventh, and then F would be the ninth. Of course, we learned when we did that for the ninths, we ended up with C, E, G, B, D. We ended up with D, F, A, C, E, just every other letter of the 2-octave C scale. When we did that, we ended up with 7 ninth chords, 5 of which are very useful and common, 2 of which, the minor 7th flat 9 and the minor 7 flat 5 flat 9, I never see. They just are not very common. So I put parentheses around them, and we'll just call those theoretical ninth chords. Okay. So if you want to take a screenshot, let me get my face out of here so you don't have to crop my face out. Hopefully my fingers aren't covering anything. Okay. And that's what we're going to do is basically I'm going to show you some ninth chords. I'm going to show you we had 3 ninth chords that were usable: the major ninth, the minor ninth, and the ninth. And the ninth you could call technically, back in the 60s and 70s, you might have actually seen like G dominant 9. I mean, I have a vague recollection of seeing that, but G9 is shorthand. Okay. C major 9. Oops. Was C, E, G, B, and D. And the crazy thing is, you can see it's C major ninth. If you want to think of it this way, you totally can. Is a C triad with a G triad on top of it. C, E, G is our C triad, and G, B, D was our G major triad, which was the 5 in the key of C. Okay, if we count up 5 in the key of C, we end up with G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's G, and then we build a major triad, and that naturally occurs in the key of C. Okay, there are 3 major chords in any major key. The 1 chord, which in the key of C would be 1, or would be C. The 4 chord, F, and the 5 chord, G. Okay, and so the C major ninth is kind of like a G chord on top of a C chord. If that makes sense. Ultimate guitar tab app from, yeah, you can totally use that. Yeah. Now I'm not getting a lot of comments all of a sudden. Is everybody okay? Did I lose you all? I'm up. It says 50. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to write out. So you're going to, if you can print this out. You can also do your own on a piece of paper. You can write it out by hand. But I'm going to write out 3 on the C string. I mean, I'm on the A string. I'm going to write out 3 different ninth chords that you should be able to play. That are really, really nice ninth chords. They're kind of jazzy. They're going to use the middle 4 strings. So we can play it with our fingers, thumb and 3 fingers like this. But you could strum it. You're just going to have to mute a little bit. See how my thumb's coming over the top to mute that bottom string. And then I'm going to kind of lay down maybe my first finger, or maybe my 3rd finger to mute the top string. Okay. So let me write out this first one. I'm going to make my guitar a desk. Okay, C major 9. Okay. And fingering wise, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. And note wise, we have a C, an E, a B, and a D. So we're missing the G. Here's that one. We're missing the G note. The G note is the fifth. The fifth is kind of the first casualty when we start to eliminate notes. Because you know, remember we talked about this. You know, a triad is 3 notes, C, E, G. Obviously, it's what I call a triad. A seventh chord is 4 notes, 1, 3, 5, and 7. A ninth chord is technically 5 notes, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And then what's typically called an 11th chord could technically be 6 notes, but 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. But I've never, ever seen for piano or guitar an 11th chord written with all 6 of those notes. But now we're at that point we're potentially using every string. And then we get to the 13th chord and we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. And unless you have a 7-string guitar, you couldn't even play all those notes. So you have to start eliminating. And generally, when there's kind of like, let's say, for example, 13th chord, there's a theoretical 13th chord, which could potentially be 7 notes. And then there's the 13th chord that everybody wants to hear. And this is, we'll get to that later, and no quiz on this. But just so you know, I might play a 13th chord like A 13th like this, which is actually very friendly to the hand, okay? So I'm X, X, 5, 6, 7, 7. That's kind of an A 13th chord. You can go ahead and grab that. It just sounds so jazzy. It's such a great sounding chord. But there's not even an A in there. And this is an A 13th chord. The reason I don't need an A is probably because I'm playing with a bass player. If I'm doing a jazz. So bass player may be playing something like that. And I might just be playing that. So what we have is we have a G, which is the 7th. And the 7th is very necessary. The 7th will determine, because if it's a major, if it says A major 13, it would be this. But A 13 is built on the dominant 7th chord, so it would be this. Again, no quiz. Don't worry. Don't stress that you don't understand what I'm saying. Okay. There's a third. Third is very important because that determines if it's a major or minor triad, a major or minor chord. See, A minor 13th would be this. Okay. And then we have the 13th right there, or the 6th, but it's 13th. We have to have the 13th. And then it's a matter of like, okay, do we want the 11th or the 9th? Always between the 11th and the 9th on a 13th chord. I always like to have the 9th. So we have the 7th, the 3rd, the 13th, and the 9th. So we have 4 of the 7 potential notes, but we have eliminated the root and we've eliminated the 5th. We don't need the root because probably there's a bass player. If that makes sense. Okay. And we don't need the 5th just because 5th is kind of implied. A lot of times you hear the root, you kind of hear the 5th. And I can go down the 5th. Now, however, if it were a 13th with a flat 5 or something, then you would definitely need to have the 5 in there because you're putting it in the name. So that would be an example where you would not want to eliminate the 5. But anyway, that's not here nor there right now. And then, like I said, I got rid of the 3 we got rid of were the root, the 5th, and then the 11th. Because at some point when you got the 7th, the 9th, 11th, and 13th, one of them's got to give. And if it's a 13th chord, you need to have the 13th. So that's a given. And the 7th is necessary because that determines whether it's a major 7th or minor 7th or a dominant 7th. So you really want the 7th in there. It's a matter of like eliminating either the 11 or the 9, and almost always you're going to eliminate that 11. So anyway, that's how we ended up with a 7-note chord implied with only 3 notes. That's what people expect to hear. When it says A13 on the I'll show you another A13th would be it's the same notes. It's just a different voicing. Okay. This is the 7th, the 3rd, the 7th, 3rd, 13th, and 9th. This is the 3rd, the 7th, the 9th, and the 13th. So the things kind of got flipped around. And that one a little harder to write here, but I'll write it. I'll put spaces. Space, space, 11, space, 12, space, 12, space, 14. And that would be another 13th chord. Now, how come I'm not seeing the live chat? That's weird. I'm not getting any new live chat from you guys. Are you really just got the guitars in your hand? You're not chatting? Or am I missing? See, you're trying to tell me stuff and I can't see it. That's so weird. Oh, you all probably went to Discord. And I'm not. And Matthew deleted his message. I see that. I see Gary's hit like. I see 50 people on. So I'm assuming everybody's here. Okay. You've heard that chord a million times. It's not unusual. It sounds like it might be, but it's not. Okay. So there's the C major ninth. So if you're mad at me for not answering questions or replying to stuff, don't be mad at me. I don't know why the live chat's not working. Okay. I may go to open up my. I can open up my Facebook real quick and see if you guys are messaging me there about something. Oh, I got a message. What is this? Who is that? Let me just check this real quick, just to make sure you're not like this is totally dead. No, okay. So no. Oh, Jeff, you sent a photo. Awesome. Yay. Okay, I got your photo. Oh, you see it. Okay. Thanks, Walter. Walter's there. Walter's talking to you all. Yeah, I can't see it for some reason. I don't know why. Did I accidentally mute it? Huh. Yeah, it shows participants just one. Let me do pop-out chat. Ah, okay. I see it in the pop-out chat. I've never done that before. No, I'm not going to restart, but I see it now, but it's just going to have to be, I can move this over here. Sorry about that. Okay. It's weird. Maybe if I close the pop-out chat, restore chat. No. So I have to go to pop-out chat to see it. All right. Well, that's fine. All right. So there's my last. Okay, I see. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let me catch up and I'll show you two more ninth chords. Okay. Walter's here. Let's see. He said, so everybody's saying hi to Walter. Okay. Okay. Hilarious. Yeah, you took over the chat. 49. Yeah, it was. Okay. Now it's dropping down because now I'm talking about the chat and not talking about guitar. Okay. DJ. Okay. Yours are freezing up. Okay. That may be you, Kevin. Dennis, all good here. Okay. What's the between major and dominant? Is there a code for it? Yes. Major is the triangle and dominant is nothing. So, like for example, I can even show you, well, we'll do that in a second here, but C major ninth would look, I write it like this. Then C ninth would be with a seventh, dominant seventh, and then C minor ninth. Those are your three ninth chords, basically. Okay, now, let me get back to see in the chat. Okay. I couldn't see it, AJ, but I opened up a new pop-out chat. So, so see, Kathy, you were having the same problem. So maybe it was you, both of us were having the problem, but nobody else was. Okay. So Gary, there's definitely a code or a symbol for that. Live chat now, I think, is working for you. Kathy touching buttons she shouldn't. Maybe Kathy was the one that took me off the live chat. See, I'm getting your live chat. Kathy, try doing the pop-out window. It's upper right-hand corner. And it did pop out if you're on a laptop or so. Oh, you restarted YouTube. Yeah, I'm not going to restart because that might be a problem with this. I can see your chat, so we're good. Okay. So in fact, I'll just leave that up and then I'll continue. So let me show you the next chord was D minor ninth. And again, these are movable chords because there are no open strings. So this would be at the third fret here, and this would be dun, dun, dun. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's D, F, C, and E. Okay, and again, we this voicing also eliminated. We eliminated the fifth. So the voicing for D minor, D minor ninth. This is one way to play it. Would be X 5 3 5 5 X, like that. Okay, it's a beautiful chord, and again, totally movable. The put your second finger on the fifth fret of the fifth string. You're gonna have to reach your first finger down to the third fret of the D string, the fourth string. Then on the third string at the fifth fret, you're gonna put your third finger, and on the pinky, on the fifth fret of the second string, you're gonna have your pinky. So your second finger, third finger, fourth finger are all on the same note. Now this is a minor ninth. To do a ninth, the difference between a minor ninth and a ninth is that a ninth is a major triad. So we need a major third. So all we do there is there's D9. See, there's D minor 9, D9. We could do it in the key of A. At some point, we could, I mean, I could do this in every key. We could go through and harmonize in every key. I like starting on C because it's all, in the piano, it's all white keys. Super easy. Exactly. It's very kind of a Brazilian. There's a lot of ninth chords, the seventh chords in Brazilian bossa nova music. Okay, so we had C major 9, then D minor 9. The E one was a minor with a flat 9. We're not going to do that one. And then it goes to F major 9, which is up here. Okay, so same as C. Oh, let me give you the fingers. Go ahead and let's make the C9 chord again. Put your second finger on the third fret of the fifth string. Kind of like almost like you're making a C2 chord here. You're going to have your first finger on the second fret of the D string. Then you're going to this is going to be the hard one. Put your pinky on the fourth fret of the G string. And then your third finger is going to be on the third fret of the second string. Okay. Again, I wrote this out already, but I think it's 2, 3, 3. Or maybe I didn't write this one out. But this is C major 9. Okay. So there's the pinky is your major seventh. If we wanted to make this a C9, it would be a dominant chord. You take that note down. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, David, I don't know what's going on. It's like we had issues yesterday too, but today we're not having buffering issues. It's the live chat thing. So weird. Okay. And then so that would be C9. That would be a dominant, like a C7 chord with a ninth added. Okay. So like I said, the next chord would be F major 9, which would be that's at the first finger is going to be on the seventh fret. So let me write that one out. We're skipping E9, E7 flat 9 because it's not very common, or I've never even been asked to play it. So F major 9 is exactly the same as C, except we're up at the seventh fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have F, A, E, and G. F, A is the root and third, and then E and G are the seventh and ninth. And there's that. Okay, and when we're all done, C10 would be like this. If you wrote C10, I would just play this. C and the 10th. Okay, so again, in a second we'll do all. Now we only have one more chord, and I'm going to write it down on the bottom row because I'm kind of filling up. I don't want to write anything there, so I'm going to write the next one down here. We have two more. G9, and like I said, ninth chord. This ninth chord, I kind of call it the James Brown chord. This guitar does not like compressors. Okay, so Mugu. Mugu. Well, welcome. I just like saying your name. So the ninth chord is the third shape that we're gonna use. So we're getting 3 ninth chords that are very usable ninth chords. And this is jazz stuff, guys. If you're playing these, you're playing jazz chords. It's kind of fun. Not what you would expect it to be right now, I think. Okay, so this is the first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. What fret am I at? What fret is that? Ninth fret. And I'm going to go ahead and write out the A minor ninth while I'm at it, which will be at the 10th fret. First finger. The minor ninths are a little bit of a stretch. This, at least voiced this way. Okay. And then so we have G, B, F, and A. Here we have A, C, G, and B. All right, so now get ready to take a screenshot because these are all 5 of the chords we're going to do in the key of C. These are all 5 of the ninth chords we're going to do. And the roots on these are all on the 5th string. Oh, is that right? Mac DeMarco? I don't know who Mac DeMarco is. I probably should, but yeah, ninth chords coming. So now what I want to do, actually, I may need to print up another page here for myself. Let me print up one of these. I got to order more paper too. Running out of paper. All right. Okay, bring it up one more time. Okay. Bring it up more. How's that? That makes sense. Sorry, my penmanship is so bad. Get my face out of here. And then try to angle it so they get more light on it. Does that help? Or then it starts keystoning. Okay, you're welcome, Pepper. So what we can do is, and you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and take this sheet. We got this room down here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write out the 3 type of ninth chords. Okay, but I'm going to write out all 3 of them in C. They're all going to have C roots, and they're all going to be at the same location on the fretboard. So all I really need to do is draw like a 4 fretboard. And you could make this an exercise where you go back and forth between C major 9, C9, C minor 9, back to C9 maybe, or whatever. It could be a finger exercise. And it could also be a mental exercise. What I wouldn't mind, and I'm going to write more information down here than we normally write. What I wouldn't mind is if you started to learn what notes you're playing, okay? Oh, Kat, wait a minute. Oh, Kathy, yeah, that's fine. You don't need to do screenshots. It's not mandatory. If you've got the paper out. So I'm going to write out C major 9, C9, and C minor 9. And you can see the changes when you have them all right next to each other. You can see what's happening. So here's all 3 of them. Here's C major 9, here's C9, and here's C minor 9. And I'm going to write more information down here. Okay, I'm going to write the fingerings. I'm going to write out the letter notes, like C, E, B, D. And then I'm going to write out what is that note? Is it the root, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 9th? Okay. Dennis, you're making this into a book. You're going to publish this, aren't you? Well, just give me some royalties. That's all I ask. Okay. So here's the cool thing about it. The difference between a C major 9th and a C 9th is just one note changes. See, this note goes down to there. See, there it is. So the other 3 are the same. And the difference between a C9 and a C minor 9th is that this note goes down a fret. And that note's the 3rd. That's what determines the 3rd is what determines whether it's a happy chord or a sad chord. If it's a major 3rd, it's a happy chord. If it's a minor 3rd, it's a sad chord. It's a minor chord. And that's why we call this C minor 9th. Okay. The reason we call this C major 9th is because it has a major 7th. Both of these are major triads. See, they both have a C and an E. C and an E, but this is a C and an E flat, which is a minor 3rd. Okay, so I'm going to write a lot of information underneath here. Fingering first. Which fingers you use on these? Grab the right pen though. I'm going to go with a smaller pen. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have, let's see, C, E, B, and D. This is always really hard to do on my diagrams when I create diagrams for my YouTube videos, because as soon as I add a flat, everything lines up perfect as long as there's no flats or sharps. As soon as I add a sharp, then all the letters are off of the fret. It's actually a lot of work. I need to figure out a better way to do it. So we have C, E, B flat, D, and then we have C, E flat, B flat, and D. And here's the interesting thing. These are all going to be the same. It's going to be root, third, 7, and 9. Root, third. I might call it flat 7 and 9. And then we have root, third, flat third, flat 7, and 9. Okay, get ready to do it. If you're doing a screenshot, there's those 3 chords. We can make an exercise out of that. It would be really good for your fingers to go back and forth between those chords. You go C major 9 to C9 to C minor 9 back to C9. And the C9 to C minor 9 is a fairly easy change, except it's a stretch. So if you have smaller fingers, you might want to move this up to a different place. But keep in mind the root, and let's do this together. All right. The root it's a nice little finger exercise. The root is this note. So whatever note that is, let's go C. C to D is a whole step. So 2 frets up is D. D to E is a whole step. And like I've taught you before, if you remember that E and F is a half step and B and C are a half step, then you can just assume the other notes, the other intervals are all whole steps, meaning 2 frets. So you can, just armed with B, C, and E, F as knowledge, you can figure out all the notes on the fretboard just by going, oh, if I'm starting on G, then it's going to be G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, oh, B to C, that's one of those half steps, so that's C. Okay, and remember I told my way of memorizing the fretboard was like I wrote out note cards of all the possible notes, like A sharp, and then another one that said B flat, and then one that said B and C. So you end up with like 15 different cards, or no, is it more like 17? There's 12 notes. Anyway, I think it's 17. 17 cards, and so who's going to help me do the? Who's going to help me do the Discord? Dennis made a lewd comment. What did Dennis say? Oh, Dennis, you got to be careful. And again, yesterday's chat was not appropriate for all advertisers. So I went ahead and disputed it because I'm like, I think I said H word. So they're like really quick at that. They're changing how they're going to do it though. And if I police it myself and I'm right, they'll trust me and just go ahead and approve it right away. So they're going to start doing that soon. So yeah, we just have to be super careful on the language stuff. It's just, if I say it or you write it, it removes some advertisers, which means monetarily speaking, I can't make as much money potentially. So, but by knowing where the half steps and the whole, knowing E and F and B and C, you can pretty much find anything. Okay, so here's C. We're just going to do the notes notes on the 5th string. So this is the A string. So A, B, C. Go up a whole step to D, up a whole step to E. E to F is a half step, so go 1 fret. F to G is a whole step, so go 2. G to A is a whole step, so go 2. A to B is a whole step, and then B to C is a half step. So any one of those places, we could build this same chord progression. So if you went C, D, E, F, you went there, we could do, here's F major 7, here's F9, here's F minor 9. And so if this is too big of a reach, go ahead and go up to maybe F, and the frets are a little smaller, it might make it more playable. Oh, yep. Right, Dennis. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Yeah, or Christopher, Chris. Yeah, that's one of the things that they have to make us approve is those whole step, half step thing. Okay, so that makes a nice little exercise. Okay, so let's see. Now on the bottom string, like how would I play a ninth chord if I was like a G9 major ninth if I was down here? Okay, I know I could play a G major ninth here using this shape. I mean, I just like doing, just moving major ninth around to sound really nice. Let's see if I can get. I don't know if you can hear this. That's what's so weird. I don't think. And those are all out in different keys. They just sound nice. Okay, question from Dennis. Thank you, Kathy. Oh, your stop sign's not as big as normal. Dennis, can I post my Discord address after lessons? Sure. I don't know if Kathy, maybe you'll have to approve it. But yeah, and then I'll do some research on that. So is that a different window we open to do the Discord? And everybody, you have to sign up for a Discord account, I'm assuming, or does it actually? Discord, I think, integrates with YouTube, right? So if I just use my YouTube login, it may be a Google, website and thing. So okay, so if I were doing major ninths here, I probably wouldn't use the bottom string. I would just go right to the top four strings. And that would be a G major ninth. This would be a G, and then so I can write those out too. So we can do G. Oh, it's more Twitch related. Okay. Okay, so let me show you these chords. They're kind of fun. So basically, I can do them all in G. We can do G major ninth, and then G ninth, and then G minor ninth. And we're gonna do more on the top four strings next, maybe even tomorrow. That's where we're gonna start learning. In fact, okay, I'm just gonna show you these just for fun. You got that? And then, so these are another. Now the hard part about this one is there's no root in this chord. So the root I'm going to actually write out is good with a circle is down here. And you could get it with your thumb technically. And I'm going to do G9 and G. So we're not doing a harmonized. We're just learning three different ninth chords. Another major ninth, another dominant ninth or ninth chord, and another minor ninth. And now, actually, I'm wondering if I should go ahead and take do a poll as to what you guys want to work on next, because the next thing I'm going, if I were to talk about drop two chords, it's kind of advanced stuff. Not that you wouldn't get it, because I know you would, because I would teach it in a way where you would understand what we're doing, and it's kind of cool. But at the same time, I don't know how practical it is for most of you. So I don't know if I want to do the drop two chord thing. Okay. So here we have now in this ninth chord, we do have a fifth. Okay. So I'm going to show you, we have the seventh. I'm sorry. I'm going to write the letter names. It's F sharp, B, D, and A. Oops. Oh, A. Oh, my penmanship. Then F, B, D, and A. And then we have F, B flat, D, and A. So on this voicing, we do have the fifth. We're just missing the root, and the root is on the bottom string. Can you see that? Oh, I touched my face, didn't I? Oh, so if Discord is connected with Twitch, I have a Twitch account, so I should be able to log in, no problem. In fact, my Twitch handle may be T Strahle, just like it is here. So, cheers. Okay, so here's some ninth chords on the top four strings, and the bottom, the root, the bass note, the root is on the sixth string. Alex, I don't know what you're saying. I hope it's not a dirty word. Probably Mazel Tov, right? So we have, here's, so G major 9 could be played this way. Second finger on the fourth fret of the fourth string, and right below it, put your third finger on the fourth fret of the third string. And then your first finger is going to be here, just like you made an A minor chord. So slide that A minor chord up 2 frets, add the pinky on the first string at the 5th fret, and that's a G major 9th. And you could grab, if your hand, if it's easy, you could grab your G with the thumb. Bass player is going to play that, so we got rid of the root. Okay. Now to make that a dominant ninth, we need to take this note down a fret. So we could do that like that or like this, but actually at this point we can just bar. So I'm barring the first finger at the top 4 strings on the 3rd fret, and then I'm putting my second finger. Boy, really hard to see on this guitar, isn't it? On the 3rd string, 4th fret. That alone is a G7 chord. And then if we add the top fret, the top fret would be the 5th fret of the 1st string. You could use your 3rd finger or your pinky. Either one's fine. Okay, so this is a G9 chord right here. This is G major 9 or G triangle 9, as I notate it, but G major, this is G9. This is the 9th on top. So if we were to do G7 sharp 9, it would be this. If we were to do G7 flat 9, we'd do this. Okay, that's the drop 2 stuff I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know how picky YouTube is. I remove anything that I think might be an issue of some. I appreciate that, Kathy. Yeah, never take it personally. I know some people, my little sister cusses like a sailor. If my little sister were on here, she'd be, so it's just funny. Okay, and then the minor ninth is just this. Okay, so I can write it out, typewriter tab. So here's the major, G major 9, G triangle 9. I'm sorry, 9. I wrote 7. 7. Okay, that would be XX 4 4 3 5. All right, so that's a beauty. Let me go back to my other sound I had. A little bit better. Yeah, I don't know if you're hearing any difference at all, because I'm not sure how it's getting there. Oh, you did. Posted a link to Discord above. Interesting, Dennis, because it's not showing up. Oh, how far above? You're welcome, Leo. Okay. And then the next one, the 7th was this one. I'm sorry, 9th. G9. We played XX 3 4 3 5. Okay. I think I'm the only one that's allowed to post links. So you might have to do it like Discord space dot space, so on and so forth. Although that could take crazy. Okay. Oh, weird, Max. Yours hasn't been working. See, I had to open up. Here, let me close this and maybe see if. Yeah, it's still not showing. It's so weird. Pop out. I have to do the pop out chat to get it to work, which is totally fine. I don't mind doing that, but it's just there's another window I have to have open. Okay, and then the G minor 9th was this. G small m 9. This is one voicing of it. like that. And I love that. Dennis, you might be able to post it on the Facebook page. Yeah, Mikhail, it's really jumped up quite a bit. I think there was a period of time where I was getting about 3,000 new subscribers every month. But okay, so that's enough ninth chord for now. Again, I feel like this stuff is kind of getting into a very narrow range of need. And I think there's other stuff. I think probably I could talk about, it was a question that I got DK gave about changing chords faster. And I've had so many requests for that I'm actually going to do a video on that one for one with examples for beginners, very, very beginners, and one with examples for more intermediate players. And so I'm going to come up with some exercises for intermediate players to practice changing chords. Yeah, Kathy, I'm really glad. In fact, it's really great. Yeah, hold on. Okay. I've got to reply to a text. Can you do a stream on any open tunings? For sure. Oh, David, you were working with your boy doing IT help over the phone with your dad. That's got to be a challenge. Yeah, and I'm glad you're digging these ninth chords, Bertie. I mean, you can find use for them. It doesn't. They don't have to be. It's not. It can be used in rock or any context. It's not jazz necessarily. Open tuning wise, maybe the only problem with doing open tuning in this, live stream situation is getting everybody to knowing that everybody is on the tuning. That's the hard part. If I were to do an open tuning thing, I would have 10 people watching because some people were like, well, I don't care. And other people were like, well, mine doesn't sound right. And, I can't sit here and tune because what I would do with someone, if I was doing an open tuning lesson in person, I would either just take their guitar and tune it because it's taking too long if they do it, or I would sit there and babysit them while they tune their guitar. Does that make sense? It's a little tough to do open tuning things, but I may do more open tuning lessons. I just got a request to do, somebody asked me to do, maybe that was you, some scales in open D minor tuning. So I may come up with some scales for that. Oh, they're cutting bandwidth on Nest. Oh, on Nest, really? That's crazy. People are going to be like trying to heat their homes and they won't be able to. That's something I wouldn't cut the bandwidth on. Well, I mean, unless maybe Nests are sending billions of bits of data every hour, then maybe that would make sense. Yeah, exactly. And that's, I'm sorry, David said I wrote a song with two chords, but it made it more interesting when I added sus things. And, that's another thing. Like I did some videos. Where are they called? What category did I put them on? That's a good question. Digging. So digging deeper. These are, I've got 5 of these. Digging. Okay. If you go to my channel and search the word digging, you'll find 5 different lessons. All right. Okay, I can check and see what playlist I put them in. What? I didn't put them in a playlist? Well, shoot. Let's see. Maybe theory. And then cool. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a new playlist called Digging Deeper. So I'm going to do a new playlist. Do I have a search for a playlist? Let me see if I have it. Okay, I don't. Okay, so I'm going to create a new playlist called Digging Deeper. Digging deeper. All right. Yes, public, yes. Okay, so now I can put all of these in that playlist, and I'm going to say, oh, I have this one in 2 playlists. The basics. Oh, duh. Oh, I have to refresh. Sorry. So I'm going to add these to this, and I'll send you a link right now. Hold, give me 1 second. And this, what I did with these digging deeper playlists is I have to save. Is I basically took a C chord, an E chord, an A chord, the basic 5 chords that we talked about in the Cajun method, and I just showed you some things around them. Like, here's how you make it a 2 chord. Here's how you make it a sus chord. You know, here's how you make it more interesting. Which really, I talk about that all the time with the right hand, but I don't necessarily. You know, I talk about having a bunch of different grooves with your right hand. Look at me multitasking. I'm amazing. And humble. That's why you guys watch me, because I'm amazingly humble. Okay, so I got to touch my face. My nose is itchy. Dang it. Ugh. Yeah, oh, this one doesn't have any playlist. Okay, the basics. Refresh. Leave page. I got to refresh. All right, playlists. Digging deeper and the basics. That should work. Okay, so now let me go see if I can find this playlist. All right, back to channel. Sorry guys, this is highly entertaining, isn't it? All right, so Dennis, discord.gg. Okay, thank you, Dennis. I think we can figure that. Let me copy and paste that. Let me open it right now. Okay, before well, here, let me do this. I'm going to have to create an account though. See, that's the thing. So I don't have an account. I'm assuming GG is just GG. Oh, invite invalid. Well, you didn't send me technically an invite. It's all right. I'll figure it out. Let me. So if we can do a Discord streaming, apparently I'm hearing that that's better. So for live chat. Okay. So oh, Nest cameras, interesting. Oh, right. For the open tunings and fingerstyle techniques. Okay, that you would vote for that. Fingerstyle is one thing that we might talk about. I would love for you all to be able to do. If you could get the if you could get the Travis pattern down, that would be, you guys would have blast with that. Oh my gosh. And I do have Travis pattern videos. Yeah, Travis speaking. Rick talked about that. So let's see. If it's speaking out loud, like for streaming games and stuff and playing with others, I wouldn't be able to handle that. Have everybody talking to me. That would be difficult. Roman, hey there. Welcome. Let's see. But we can definitely talk about fingerstyle. I'm totally happy doing that. We'll probably get our acoustic guitars out for that. Okay, now let me see if I can find this playlist. See where it is. I called it Digging Deeper. And so this is where I kind of went, oh, look, there it is right there. Boom, 5 videos. Perfect. And I've talked about doing maybe more videos on this, like doing the minor chords. But the funny thing is that I kind of did do minor chords in this. But check out this, bookmark this and save this new playlist I just created while you guys sat and watched me create it. Made for great TV. Oh, and you make it text only. Okay, that's good. So Discord can be text only. Especially at my end, I'd have to mute it. You guys can talk if you want, but I have a feeling that would just get too crazy. We've got 42 people on right now. So definitely Travis picking. I may completely reinvent the wheel tomorrow. And again, we're looking at, if this thing ends, well, it's going to end. But if it ends, say, the end of August for most of us, I know in LA they've extended the order till May 15th. But if everybody else starts getting back to work sooner than later, I think LA will change. Careful, Dennis. Yeah, so we can do some invites. And so just so you know, you can email me at tstrahle@gmail.com. The Mac tstrahle@mac.com. Don't email me there if you can, because that's more for business. I mean, if you have a business inquiry, a legitimate business inquiry, that's different. But if it's about the lessons, things like that, I'll try to check my Gmail account more than just once a week. So if Dennis, if you want to send me, I'm going to delete your comment right here just because I know it wasn't. Oh, shoot. Hopefully you're not going to be in a timeout. You might be. Okay. I will, Kathy, I will check that too. And then see, and only 28 thumbs up. Oh, I see 27. So you guys are ahead of me on that. And that's fine. I don't mind the thumbs up. So what I may do though is I may do finger picking stuff. I mean, that applies to electric and acoustic and everything. I would love for you all to get the Travis pattern down to some degree. That would be a really cool thing to do. And I think that's we've done so much theory stuff. So we've done a lot of theory stuff, and finger picking is really actually one of my better skills. And it applies across the tunings as well. So the right hand stuff can apply no matter how you have your guitar tuned. So, oh, you set up a link to never. Okay. Oh, set the link to never expire. Okay. I saw a talk by Doyle Dykes where he talked about learning new finger styles. He wrote it down using finger numbering system and said them out loud over and over again until he knew them. Interesting. Now, Gary, do you already Travis pick, or is this something you'd like to learn how to do? Okay, I think this is Dennis's invite to Discord. Do you have to be invited to Discord, or that's just the invite for the chat? Oh, okay. Half of my songs use Travis picking, so you already know how to do it, Verdi. That's good. But there are so many different finger picking things you can do, and in some ways, like I think about the song "Dust in the Wind." I taught it for years. I taught it using like what was it? I taught it using 4 fingers, but I think actually it's really just it's a thumb bouncing around in 2 fingers, and that's the key with a Travis pattern. Is your thumb? You think of your thumb as the bass, and then your fingers are kind of the melody and the rhythm. So that's I wish I could teach it, but I taught that song so many times. But again, like I said, I taught it as a finger picking pattern, more like a classical pattern, and that may be the way he did it. I saw a video about the making of that song, but I don't remember if I looked closely at the hands to see what he was playing with the right hand. But we can talk about finger picking. The same thing. This landslide is, I think, this is the same pattern, I think. And there's a lot of songs that use that kind of Travis-y pattern. A lot of like Travis. A lot of it is PMXMA. Oh yeah. I'm not sure what that means. PM. I'd have to. That's not how I've referred to it. Might call it Appalachian. I mean, Merle Travis was the guy that kind of invented it. And you just, I mean, I can do it with pretty much any chord progression. And then, you could do it more, you can make it more clean. Not tune, but. In fact, Chet Atkins would use a nylon guitar a lot to do that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Where do you see? I have a SoundCloud. But it's mostly drunk riffs and nothing good. Awesome. Yeah, that sounded Flamingo before Delta Blues, exactly. Yeah, and there are a million tutorials on how to play Dust in the Wind. So I'm not too, you can totally find that. You can find someone that probably teaches it right. That's the funny thing, and Landslide too. I think Landslide's capoed, if I'm not mistaken. I think is it an F originally? It's capoed 3rd fret. And I've seen Lindsey Buckingham live, and I mean he's a real good fingerstyle picker, and he does a lot of fingerstyle stuff. A lot of his guitar parts. In fact, he plays with his fingers. He doesn't use a pick for everything. Yeah, that was the Motel 6 theme. That was kind of a cheater version of it, or not a cheater version, but yeah, that was the Motel 6 theme. Yeah, I always liked that. It was a fun way to kind of play to show off the Travis pattern. Tommy Emmanuel's great. Yeah, there's so many guys that are killing. I'm not that. I do fingerstyle. I can play classical. I can do fingerstyle for stuff. I like writing fingerstyle songs. But I don't really have any any aspirations to be like the big fingerstyle guy. There's so many people that do it so much better than I could ever do it. So I don't even want to get into that into that cage fight because I would lose. So anyway, all right. So the Boxer is another good example. Yeah, you're right, Bob. That's a great example of it. Also, it's not an example of Travis, but I love the finger picking pattern on Sound of Silence. It's a great chord progression. It's a beautiful chord progression. Yep, You'll Leave a Light On. Let's see. Yeah, music wise, it's so funny because my friend Joe DeBlasi, who I've talked about many times, he's got a very self-deprecating email handle, and I always like, dude, you're not a bad guitar player. Basically, his email handle was, I won't give it to you, but it was kind of one of those things where it's like, why would you do that? Why would you have your email handle be that? But he, I understand what he's saying. He's like, studio guitar players, studio musicians in general are oftentimes really kind of good at being a what does it say? Master of, let's see. They can play a lot of styles, but they're not a master in any one of them. I always consider guitar to be one of the hardest instruments to be considered a master on. It's very difficult. There are very few players that can actually become a master in more than one style. Like Andre Segovia was a master guitar player in classical, but he couldn't do bebop. Pat Metheny is a master in jazz, maybe, but not. He couldn't do rock guitar. That kind of thing. Yngwie Malmsteen may be a master of heavy metal rock or gothic or classical rock, but he couldn't do blues. It's like that kind of thing. So jack of all trades, master of none. I've said that 1,000 times, and I could not think of it just now. So I play the radio the best. I'm the same way. But one of the things that I do have the guitar in my hand almost all day long. So there's a certain amount of dexterity that I have that comes in handy. So let's see. Yeah, and Bruce, I'm sure there's some great tutorials on how to play Sound of Silence. It's one of those things where I don't do that because I don't want the copyright infringements. I don't know how people get away with it because I do a freaking 1/4 1/5 progression for a jam track, and I get two copyright violations from two different songs, and I'm like, why are you not? In fact, let me see where that status is, because we're getting to a month now, running out of days on these things, and I'm thinking, um, uh, that so they've got to approve it or whatever. I haven't posted the video because I didn't want views to come before. I didn't want to get any views until I could actually monetize it. Oh, wait. Did they approve it? Nope. Still in escrow. Still copyright claim from March 18th. So I guess they still got a couple more days to go. I did notice, though, on the copyright claim that it's down to one song now instead of two. And it's Les Veuves de la... And when I found that song, it was like some Zydeco song with accordion. It was like not even close to my song. So they're just using... Yeah, the only problem with fair use is totally legitimate for copyright purposes for the classroom, but not for YouTube, because YouTube, you're broadcasting, so you could not broadcast a lesson, and so it gets a little in the gray area when you're doing classes online. But as long as there's only so many people online, it comes under fair use. But once you get to this where I've got a video that has up 2 million views. When you get into that range, yeah, you're definitely not in fair use territory. So that's why things get taken down. What do I think about Prince? Prince is a freaking genius. That's what I think about Prince. What style am I the master of, Roman? Nothing. I'm in this. I'm a master of being able to make my clients happy. I very rarely had someone who hired me that didn't hire me again and again and again and again. So I feel like part of session work, particularly doing movie and TV and film work, and game work. I do a lot of work on games. If you're familiar with Apex Legends, I'll tell you what I am a master of. I'm a master of creativity. As old as I am, I'm still writing with pop artists that could be my grandkids technically, because I have the ability to really think outside the box. That's why I have so many guitars tuned in different ways. I also am very good. I work on Apex Legend, and part of what I do for Apex Legend is Apex Legend is a game that a lot of people are playing, and I did all the guitars on it. And so one of the things I do for Apex Legends is create crazy sounds. So I'm very creative about that, whether I have a guitar with 6 of the same strings on it, or guitars tuned down in certain crazy weird ways. I've even had David. I don't know if you're still there. Oh yeah, you're still there. But Dave, I even that Dan Electro that I had for quite a while. I had that thing tuned down 2 whole steps. So instead of it being E to E, it was C to C, almost to baritone level. And it was impossible to play that guitar in tune. And it sounded weird, like it was underwater. And it was, I called it the squishy guitar. I even did a video for that. And you can hear it. I'll find it here. Squishy. There it is. I call it my cool tool, the squishy guitar. And right now it's not tuned that way. I should tune it again that way. But David, check this out, because it's kind of cool. Now, again, I did it for special effects for people I work for. So I think if I'm master of anything, it's a master of being able to think of things that somebody else hasn't thought of. And that's a good skill to have in the creative arts. But as far as being a master of anyone's style, no, I really don't. But when you're doing TV, like I was going to say, when you're doing TV, film, games, things like that, you really only have to fool 99.5% of the people. And then there's 0.5% of the people going, wait a minute, he's not a jazz guitar player. But like, for example, I can do bluegrass. I've done bluegrass for movies and games, TV shows, things like that. But if I got called to do a bluegrass record where I had to play like mandolin and banjo and acoustic guitar on 10 tracks, I wouldn't do it. I would say, call this guy. Okay, let me see. Master theory explaining guru. Roman Prince is a genius. And I have a friend, she had her, Judith Hill, you can check her out. She did a whole record with Prince. Judith Hill. She's the daughter of the bass player and keyboard player at my church that I play with every weekend, except not right now. Okay, Roger. Talk to you later. I'll see your friend request, I'm sure. I asked my husband, Kathy. You're asking my husband is asking if you have royalty-free music other than other YouTubers can use. Oh, do I have? Well, here's the thing. I'm thirsty. So we can have a sixth rule to the drinking game. If I'm thirsty, we all take a sip. Man, we got to get to Tom Commandments, the 10 Commandments. We got to get 10 of them. This is the saddest part of the day. When the coffee is gone, that's the saddest part of the day. So Kathy, the thing is, YouTube isn't royalty free. So if I let you use one of my pieces, it wouldn't have to be royalty free. I could just give it to you for $1 or for free to use. I would see some YouTube money from it. I have music on YouTube videos that I make money from. In fact, the Bieber documentary used 2 of my songs. Not only did I get a license fee up front, I will also make royalties on the back end. So YouTube pays royalties, so it's technically not royalty. Now, generally, when people say royalty free, what that means is that you pay for it and then you don't have to worry about paying a royalty to use it, or you have unlimited uses. So like if you want to include it on a DVD that you're selling or giving away, things like that, that's where royalty free music would come in handy. Whereas if you were to put my music on, let's say you were to take a song of mine and put it on a DVD that you give away, technically you might have to pay me 9.1 cents per unit. So if you printed up 1,000 of those units, you might have to send me $91 to fulfill the royalty on that. However, if it was royalty-free music, you wouldn't have to do it, but you would probably, royalty-free music generally implies that you're paying for it something up front. If you're paying nothing up front and nothing on the back, there's zero incentive to create it. And so, okay, so let's see. If you were pay-per-view or paid class, fair use would apply because it is not open-ended nor repeating. Okay, well, that's interesting, Rick. I wouldn't doubt that. Although if I'm getting paid like a pay-per-view thing, or I'm getting paid, I almost feel like I would have an obligation to pay royalties. I may not. But if you're right, if I set my videos to private, I don't think copyrights would be the infringement things would go. The funny thing is that Rick, the examples I've given, one was I don't think that one's been approved yet. Let me look and see. Remember? Well, no, I know it probably hasn't because I think it's still in escrow, what they call escrow. Yep, that was lesson 16, so that was only not even 2 weeks ago. I played quite a bit of Luis Milan's Six Pavanas and a Fantasia. I was giving an example of an easy classical piece that you might be able to learn if you had some skills that you could play at a wedding. And I played a little bit of that, and it's literally 500-year-old piece. And I got a copyright infringement claim on it because somebody played it. Some library somewhere played it. I looked it up, and some guy played it, and they put it in a library somewhere so people can use it and pay to use it or whatever. And they claim that they get the royalty on it. And it's like, that might be for that performance of it, but not for my performance of it. You can't claim a public domain piece for me. So that's why I disputed it. Now, the problem with YouTube is I'm only allowed to be wrong 3 times on this. And I currently have 2 disputes right now. So if I lose both of these, then I can't dispute again. And if that's the case, then I won't dispute them anymore because I don't want to lose my channel, which would be crazy to lose 70,000 subscribers just because some library somewhere claimed a 500-year-old piece was theirs. That I would be pretty upset about that, but it's not a whole lot you can do because YouTube holds, Google holds all the cards, and they're just being cautious. They don't want to get sued. That's why they're doing it, because they have deep pockets and they'll get sued. I wouldn't, but they would. Oh, we call educational fair use the master blaster in IPR here. Yeah, where are you, DK? Yeah, I mean, I really don't. I would, if I were teaching a course, and I've taught classes before where I use music as examples, and I totally understand. If I'm using Beatles in a classroom of 20 people, then that's 100% fair use, and the Beatles would be fine with that. And they should be fine with us using it here on YouTube if I'm using it like the way Rick Beato does. What makes this song so great? Why not let him use those? I don't understand. He's using he has access to those tracks. It's amazing. It's really, really cool that he has access to those drum tracks and those guitar tracks. It's freaking, I love listening to those things. Why they don't, why he gets the copyright infringements. I mean, he showed, I don't know if you saw that video of his where he showed the emails. It was just like millions of emails of YouTube emailing him. And I'm like, man, how does he keep his channel? But he doesn't fight him, I guess. And you can do it where they'll do a shared royalty or they'll just do no royalty. So there's a lot of videos where he's probably not making any money on, which would be a bummer. So, yeah, you guys can all create a Facebook. Well, we have a Facebook page. So just join, just like mine, and then we can. Oh, I guess there is no chat on there, so you can all kind of talk together. Although you can all comment on a post. So let's see. I'm pretty good storyteller as well. Yeah, I guess that's true. Let's see. What did you say, Chris? Oh, yeah. So Kathy, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but if you need music. If you need to use some music for a YouTube video, just let me know. One of the things I do ask if people do that, if they can give me credit at the bottom. I think sometimes if you put my name and, copyright Tom Strahle BMI or whatever at the bottom, in the information thing, sorry, or even in the video, but better in the information thing, then I think YouTube can see that. And then, you can even say permission granted by so-and-so for the use of this music or whatever. But I don't really have a lot of music like that right now. So all my music is out there earning me money. Let's see. Let's see. I guess your definition of fair use is a lot narrower than ours. Oh, you're in India. I'm sorry. You said that. I missed that comment. Yeah, I mean, other countries kind of get away with it more. I'm not sure how harsh YouTube is in India. I know that what will happen in India has a huge music community. They have huge record companies. They have they have massive amounts of copyrights. They create so much content in India, like movies and TV shows. I'm watching an Indian TV show right now. And so I think part of the thing with like Disney had real struggles with China just totally infringing their copyright by pirating all their movies and selling them on DVDs and not giving Disney anything. And I think that's part of the reason Disney got so invested in China was to try to make China see, hey, look, if we make money, it's good for you guys too. So protecting copyrights are a fairly good thing, and it's not unreasonable thing. But I think India will also probably get more strict with copyrights as they have more and more of their people. I know that like Sweden, how much of their national budget is from ABBA, ABBA music. I mean, literally 20% of Sweden's national budget probably comes from taxes that ABBA pays. So I know that they probably protect copyrights. And I know that it's interesting too, that when I get royalties from different countries, different radio royalties, different BMI royalties, every country's different. And some countries pay a lot, like Ireland pays a lot. And so does Germany and France. They pay really good compared to other countries. And some countries just pay very, very little. And I'm not even sure how there's no continuity to it. There's no reciprocity or anything like that. So, okay. Still trying to decide between Dan Electro and a Fender Telecaster. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You want the lipstick tile pickup. Well, you can get a Dano for cheaper. But the Fender is probably, if you get like a Mexican one or a Japanese one or a USA one, it's probably going to hold its value more. The Dan Electro is a plastic body, so none of your tones coming from the body. Okay. David said, DK, I have numerous cassettes of my friend so-and-so gave me mostly Kamataka music, India, and cassettes. Wow, very cool. What do I think of Mike Campbell? Oh, great guitar player. Great ideas, great parts. As far as being a shredder, obviously he's not a shredder, but he's a great guitar player. I love Tom Petty, great songs, really cool. Yeah, Kathy. Yeah, you keep everything private. We don't know who's here. Um, yeah, Dennis. Okay. I'm assuming you're on Facebook. Let's see. And I don't really do too much on Facebook. A lot of my Facebook stuff is mostly friends and family kind of thing. Keep tabs on my friends and kids, people from high school, stuff like that. Cup. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry. Rule 6: if you mention Apex Legends, then everyone must think it's. I do that every day, don't I? So that's a given. DK, I love Indian classical music. Yeah, I've got a friend of mine, Russ Miller, does plays with a pretty big Indian artist, but I wish I knew what his name was. But if you look up Russ Miller drummer, you'll probably be able to see it. A license. Let's see. Can you put Discord link below comments after the video? Oh, we'll see. I don't know if that'll happen. When you're thirsty, take a drink and then touch your face. Well, that's what I've been doing. I've been touching my face if I was thirsty. Now I'm out of coffee. Dang it. All right. So I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do tomorrow. Get your lunch, get food. I'll talk to you later, David. Thank you. Bon appetit. What do you what do I listen to? Oh, David, what do you listen to most? Okay, well, you're not asking me. You're asking me. I listen to everything. So, but I also listen to nothing. If that makes sense. I'm working so much that I'm listening to music. Whatever music I'm working on, that's what I'm listening to. And so many people think, oh, your Strahle household must be music all the time. And I think it was more when we first got married and Beth and I had a band together and we were rehearsing and writing music. And I mean, we were constantly listening to music and all that. When you do it 8 to 12 hours a day, the last thing you often want to do is hear music. And so it's sad. It's not like I don't enjoy music. It's just, I really do envy my friends that can literally put on an album. Back in the day, put on an album and they would sit there like the Memorex guy and just listen to an album with their eyes closed. I can't do that. I can't. I want to pick up a guitar and start playing along. One of the things my cousin could do, I remember going to hang with my cousins and I'd spend the night at my cousin's house or whatever. And he would go to bed listening to rock music, like classic rock stations, or AOR stations. Of course, this is back in the 70s and stuff. And so that album oriented, AOR stands for album oriented rock. And they'd be playing like Stairway to Heaven. And I would lay there and I couldn't sleep because I'm listening to Jimmy Page play guitar and I'm trying to think, what is he doing? How did he get that sound? Where is he playing that? What fingers is he using? What chord is that? There's no way I'm going to sleep listening to music. It's just not going to happen. I still love music. That's why I do what I do. But do I listen to music? I really don't. And that wasn't even a question directed to me. That was somebody else. So let's see. Okay. Bye. Everybody's saying goodbye to David. Easier on desktop. That probably makes sense. And that's what I would do is I would do the app. What is my favorite song? Okay, that I might answer. I would say Yesterday by the Beatles is a top 3. It affected me greatly when it came out. I've done arrangements of it. I love the Beatles. I love, they're the reason I'm playing guitar. And that's true of almost any professional guitar player my age would say the Beatles are the reason. But I would say probably Yesterday by the Beatles is one of my top 3 at least. Hard to pick any others. I love Radiohead. So there's so many great Radiohead tracks. I don't know that I could pick a number one. So let's see. DK, you don't generally listen to Bali music. Yeah. I do. Oh, I need to pull out my Schwarmendal Tanpura, DK. You need to check this thing out. It's pretty crazy. I did a video on it. Let me pull it up. I'm promoting a lot of my videos today, but that's all right. Schwarm. There it is. Cool tool. I love this thing. Actually, this video's got a lot of views. I want to copy the link, but then I'm touching my face. Got to drink water now.
That's the blue one.
So this one has 28,000 views. But But check out this thing. I may pull this out at some point. It's kind of fun, but I got to tune it. Chromebook is getting wonky. Yeah, they can do that. Let's see. Where are we now? Don't listen to Bollywood music. What do you think about Takamine classical guitars quality price? For price over 2K? That's a lot, Roman. That's a lot for a Takamine classical guitar. I mean, Takaminis are probably more expensive than I remember them being. I always think of Takamine, I think in the $500 range to $1,000. So I'm not sure if it would be worth it. I like for classical guitars. I have two classical guitars. This is an Asturias. You can find a decent Asturias. I think this is an 80s one. You can or 70s one. Sorry, Asturias. Try reverb, and then this is a Ramirez, but it's a flamenco. So yeah, you're out of my mocha. You're out of your mocha too. See, it's a sad part of the day, isn't it? It's brutal. Okay, yeah, Martin, but oh, Roman, oh, that's cool. Okay, you got a Martin 0015. That's great. What's the M stand for? Do you happen to know what the M stands for on the Martin? But you want a decent nylon. Let's see. David, let's see. Oh, okay. You were talking. You guys are talking back and forth. Grand Funk Railroad's great too. Yeah, no, Max. Yeah, it's just great. So often if the music is still being played on the radio today, that just tells you that it's good music. I mean, it's just great playing on it. The Grand Funk Railroad stuff, the playing, the feels are so great. So I am going to log out. I'll leave this going. I may go try to download the Discord thing, and so see if I can get it. Do a stream on coming up with chord progressions for melodies if you feel like it's a subject you want to talk about. Yeah, a Raschiato. Yeah, Raschiatos are brutal, man. It's like the first time I got that, I almost literally jumped up screaming, hurrah. It's so hard, and I still don't have it fluid. Some of them I can do it. I'm so out of tune right now. Yeah. I'm not out of tune enough to be considered a tuning, though, so you can't take a drink. But I'm pretty out of tune. It was the E strings. Oh, because I had this. Believe it or not, for last night for the session I did for that pop artist, I had this tuned down to double drop D tuning. Double drop D tuning is the two E strings tuned down to D, so it's D, A, D, G, B, D, which I really, really like. It's a great tuning. I like it for electric because I have I'll do it to this one because it's like having like a power chord on the bottom, so you have that drop D, that low thing going on the D down there, and then having that A form bar chord on top. So it's basically, it sounds like that. And then if I need to go to like a gainier sound, let me go to this here. So it's cool because I have the power chords here, but I still have the major triad. The top four strings are like a major chord. kind of fun. I love that tuning for slide. Now, like I said, I could go to, that's almost open G. It's almost open G, but it's just a great tuning. Okay, so finally got it working. It's been years. Let's see. No, not take a different drink. No, the rule is we take a drink if I don't realize I'm in a different tuning. And that's never going to happen again. You'll never catch me doing that again. Of course, now if I pick up that guitar, I'll be like, what's wrong with this guitar? Yeah, I don't know if you're hearing the gain. I think, oh, you're hearing metal. Okay, so you're hearing a metal kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. A blend of metal and blues. Well, that's the great thing about that tuning is I can go right into like, I can do the whole. I don't know if you're here. Are you hearing this really gainy or are you hearing this clean? Yeah, I like that. I should use that for that TV show. Even with a drop D tuning, I can do everything with the first finger, and then I have my third finger or my pinky on with the slide. Yeah, I love playing Slido. Anyway, all right, I'm just goofing off. I could probably have 45 people just watching me goof off. Oh, it's down to 32 now, so we're losing them. Okay, so all right, I'm going to. Oh, it's blending the two. Yeah, I figured that you're getting like the direct, and then you're from the microphone, you're getting the gain sound. I don't know how to get my tone to you guys. I haven't figured that out yet. So anyway. Everybody take care. Tomorrow we may do the start working on finger picking patterns. You'll know tomorrow when I log in and I create the name. I may start. I still may go to drop 2 stuff. I got so many videos on that, and they don't get a lot of views. So I don't really know if I want to lose. I don't want to lose the majority of you because it's just not something you're interested in. I'd much rather do something that you're interested in. Okay, so tune in tomorrow. Probably going to do some right hand stuff. And I'm probably not right away with the what's it called? Travis Picky. Probably won't start right there. We'll probably start with some more. I might show you some Giuliani arpeggios, which are classical guitar things that will help you develop some finger independence. Remember, we've been working on that with the left hand with the exercises. This will work on some finger independence with the right hand. Okay. All right. God bless you guys, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. End stream. I'll leave the chat up, though. Okay, I'm going to hit end stream, and we'll leave the chat.